Greetings folks, and welcome to my full review of the brand new Apple iPhone 14 Pro. I've had this phone for just over a month now and I'm ready to share with you what I think about it. So I'm going to take you from here in London all the way to Doha, Qatar, where I took a trip recently to visit family, and this was the only camera I packed. This gave me a great opportunity to spend some time with the phone and check out all the features. I'll be sharing my experiences so far, my recommendations, and showing you that this is all the camera you'll probably ever need. And as a bonus, I'll even show you all 8 stadiums that will feature in this year's FIFA World Cup 2022. So, ladies and gentlemen, for your consideration, I give you the iPhone 14 Pro. Design-wise, there's nothing new to see here. There's the beautiful 6.1-inch sapphire crystal display, ceramic shielded front and back, and a clean stainless steel outside edge. And I will say that the new deeper black colour has really grown on me since my first look video. It's a subtle change with a darker hue over the last generation space grey, but it does add to the character of the phone. The newly introduced always on display has been a bit of a talking point of this phone, and I found myself switching from committing to it fully and turning it off altogether. And this isn't just because it can be distracting at times and maybe even sucking a few percent of battery as others have noted, but I found that all the information I could possibly want at a glance is already on my Apple Watch. However, on the other hand, having some key information on the lock screen of my iPhone has actually liberated me from my Apple Watch, meaning that sometimes I don't have to have such a cluttered and noisy watch face on my wrist, allowing me to wear a more simpler watch face with less complications in it and less clutter. And even though they're late to the party, let's take a moment to commend Apple for the way they've executed this feature. The 14 Pro is smart enough to turn off the always on display if you've got the phone face down, in your pocket, connected to your CarPlay in your car, or if you own an Apple Watch, it will even turn itself off when you're no longer in the room with it by sensing that your Apple Watch is no longer nearby, and that's pretty cool. So as I mentioned, I recently went on a trip to visit family in Doha, Qatar, in the Middle East, and this gave me an excellent chance to get more familiar with the phone, to check out all its features and to see just how good the new camera is, as I decided not to pack my Sony a7 III, but to use this as my one and only shooter. My trip involved a 2-leg journey from London Heathrow to Istanbul, Turkey, where we would stop over for a couple of hours and fly onwards to Doha. And once I'd arrived in the bright sunlight of Qatar, it was clear to see just how good the screen was. I had no visibility issues, and while comparing it side by side in the bright sunlight with an iPhone 12 at its full peak brightness, you can really see what a difference this screen makes. So a solid battery performance was essential to me, and the phone did not disappoint, lasting comfortably for my whole trip while being used moderately throughout. And on a normal day back in London, my phone sees around 10 to 12 hours of usage without a need to charge. As mentioned before, Qatar is the host nation of the FIFA World Cup this year, and I had a great time driving around the city of Doha checking out all 8 of the newly built football stadiums that will be hosting this year's games. And it gave me a great opportunity to have some fun with the cameras and to see what they can do. So, one of the headline features of the iPhone 14 Pro this year is the very impressive 48 megapixel main camera that it has. This camera produces amazing, highly detailed photos that you can now blow up in size or crop to your heart's content. However, in order to use this 48 megapixel camera, you're going to have to be shooting in ProRAW. If you're familiar with the format of ProRAW, you'll know that it creates massive file sizes and takes up a lot of space on your device. With this in mind, I chose to use the 12 megapixel ultra-wide camera for most of my trip, which produced sharp and crisp pictures, outdoors and in. I took full advantage of the telephoto and ultra-wide lenses, now offering a 1, 2 and 3 times zoom. This was particularly handy catching snaps and videos of some of the stadiums that were hard to get close to, as many of them are yet to be open to the general public. Even the front-facing true depth camera is extremely capable now, with autofocus and a larger aperture, now producing better photos in low light conditions. And it even shoots fantastic video too in 4K. And if you really want to spice things up, you could use this cinematic mode, which adds this amazing bokeh effect and is great for vloggers or video creators who like to shoot talking head videos. These pictures were taken in very dark conditions where the camera caught more detail in the dark than even my eyes could. Video was also great, capturing the beautiful night city skyline of Doha. And although there was a little bit of lens flare, even when zoomed in, I was really happy with the video I was able to take. I had a bit of a mixed experience with the new action mode feature, which now provides a new level of stabilization when activated and taking video. Now it's not as good as the stabilization of something like a GoPro or an Insta360, but you know what, it does work and it's nice to have when the need arises. Cinematic mode is fantastic and you can really capture some gorgeous footage with it on, and even adjust areas of bokeh or background blur after the video has been taken on the edit feature of the phone itself, which is pretty magical. All in all, the camera was fun to use and always ready to shoot whenever I needed it. It took amazing photos, caught great memories, and all of its features and quality made for a creative's dream tool. Whether you're capturing a moment, making a moment, or taking a moment, this phone can really help you tell stories if that's what you like to do. So, from the deserts of the Middle East, let me take you to a newly discovered island, a dynamic island. Oh man, this is a corny link, I'm sorry, I'm really sorry. So Apple took the much maligned notch that hid the front-facing true depth camera and sensors and moved it from the top of the screen a little further down into its own independent notification bubble that Apple call the Dynamic Island. The Dynamic Island is unique to the 14 Pro and 14 Pro Max and has been a promising feature so far. Every now and then when I forget it's there, I find a new notification or feature that makes use of it and makes me appreciate it a little more. It makes a great place to receive calls from, see the battery status of my AirPods, get quick access to my Apple remote, access to music I have playing, see a timer tick down, and even keep an eye on a voice recording. And now with iOS 16.1, it's got even better, now taking advantage of live activities and showing things like sports scores with the promise of even better things to come. Each time a new iPhone comes out, it's easy to call it the best iPhone ever, and it probably is. Sometimes Apple gives us a brand new design which makes a phone look fresh, and sometimes it just gives us new features and changes in a design and shell that we've seen before. This is very much the case with the iPhone 14 Pro. Many people have noted just how similar it looks to the iPhone 13 Pro, and it does. But on the inside, this phone really is new. With its new processor, cameras and features, it has got something new to offer. I don't always like to compare the new iPhone to the old iPhone. I've said this before in many of my videos, the way technology moves right now, we're not looking for a brand new revolutionary device every single year. Most tech companies only add incremental changes to their devices every year, which means that every year you are getting a better device. So, is it the best iPhone ever? Yes. Is it a fantastic phone? Of course it is. The iPhone is a powerful tool that helps you connect with friends and family, get access to information, helps you capture still and video memories, entertains you, keeps you healthy, and now with things like crash detection can literally save your life amongst all of the other things it does. If you own an iPhone 11 or older, or just want to get the best iPhone on the market right now and take advantage of one of the most fantastic camera experiences outside of actually owning a DSLR mirrorless camera, and you can comfortably afford it, then this is the iPhone for you. So let me know in the comments section if you've got a 14 Pro or Pro Max, or even if you're holding on to an older iPhone. It'd be great to have a chat about it. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel. I'm still on the journey to my first 1,000 and it'd be great to do it together. So until next time, see ya. Peace.